You can't get that anywhere else, folks. No. This is the finest mug you've ever drank whole milk from at 11 p.m.
Whole
milk. Well, you know what? It's a treat now. I'm barely drinking
it's whipping cream, but
technically it's whipping cream. It's whole whipping cream. No, just a little bit. Dash will do you of the whole milk. I'm phasing that out because there's no way I can maintain any successful measure of weight loss over time if I'm tacking on hundreds of calories in milk at the end of the night or at the beginning of the day. Because that's
that whole Shane Gillis bit. He's like, got milk fat this summer.
Did he really?
Yeah, I got milk fat. I've been drinking milk.
I wouldn't think he was a milk guy.
Big time, yeah. Isn't he from Pennsylvania?
Yes. Is that milk country?
Oh, that's big milk country. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I know there's a bunch of country.
They got that cream cheese up there.
Like all of the northeastern states, like you always have your preconceptions about states based on where you're from. And like, even though I know there's a bunch of Amish and, farmland and stuff in Pennsylvania, to me, it's just like, oh yeah, one of those like densely populated northeastern states that's like Pittsburgh and Philly.
Really?
Yeah.
Pennsylvania is actually Kentucky. From the north. That's what Pennsylvania, they call it Pennsyltucky, and it has culturally, it's a lot like it.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never been.
I'm the same way as Taylor. I think of like Rocky. I think of Rocky and like that's what I think of Philadelphia. I think I've been there once, but I just had like a layover, and I went and got a sandwich, and then got back to the airport and left. And that was my Philadelphia experience. So so I have no concept of it.
Yeah,
I've been to Philly a lot. I went to school there, so I went every day for 10 years.
What state has the worst?
3 days a week.
What state has the worst reputation?
For what? Alabama has. Alabama is pretty rock bottom. Mississippi is probably just as bad.
You think so?
Yeah,
I was going to volunteer New Jersey. Not a strong reputation. A lot of people say Florida's not so cool. I don't like Florida.
West Virginia has some connotations to Zach's point there. I think of West Virginia as a place of the uneducated and the inbred. I know when I was there, that's what I saw. I saw people who were very filthy and ignorant. I saw peasants for the first time in America when I went to West Virginia. I was like, we have peasants. Holy shit.
That's a very poor region.
Mississippi is the poorest, I think.
I think you're right. I think Mississippi is. Until
they have interstate highways. In West Virginia, they're isolated up in those mountain communities, and you get this special kind of ugly. It's like one of those mud puddles that's been sitting for too long, and it's gotten all stagnant. That's what the genetic pool of a typical West Virginia mountain town is. It's 350 people have been fucking each other's cousins for 150 years, and they look like it. I remember being in that town and telling the boys, I was like, "Hey, have y'all seen a good-looking girl since we've been here in this town?" Because we've been to Walmart, we went to we're in this restaurant now, and we've driven around
two places.
I mean, you go to Walmart, you get a vibe for the town. There were some uggos. Our waitress was cross-eyed. Like everything. She was literally like crazy cross-eyed. She like Bobby Boucher's daddy.
You'll be happy to hear this, Kyle. Up until really I met you, in my head, because I hadn't spent enough time in Mississippi, Alabama, or Georgia, I just thought of those three states as they must all be pretty much the same. Alabama, Georgia, what's the real difference other than the football teams? Mississippi, it's probably the same mix down there.
No, there was a hierarchy, and Georgia is at the top of the hierarchy. It's just like the Asians. It's just like the Asians. We're the Japanese of the South here in Georgia. We have a very diverse state. We've got a pretty decent population. We make a lot of money, do a lot of high-tech stuff here, a lot of entertainment stuff here. And we're generally a more classy state. We are the peach state.
North Carolina looks down upon all of you.
Yeah, you're further north. That's how that
literally
works.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think
we have Research Triangle Park. We've got a lot of the big tech industry here. I wonder what the per capita for Georgia versus North Carolina is.
I don't think of North Carolina as the South.
Really?
I know it's one of those states where the southern part of it probably is, but I always think of it as more Atlantic.
As like one of the principal Civil War protagonists.
We don't think of you as like that, though.
Really?
We know when we fire the show back up again, y'all won't be with us. Florida will, though. We can count on them. Texas, too.
Florida's not, you've said this before, Florida is its own thing. Like, there's so many transplants there. It's not like, maybe because you coughed. But yeah, Florida's its own thing. So you would say that you're the
what do we got?
The Japan of the South?
Yes. So I would say Georgia is like the Japan of the South.
What about Tennessee?
I
consider Tennessee the South.
Yeah, it's the South, but it's more of a mountainous, spread out country music South. That's what that South is. Tennessee is country music and mountains. It's the Smoky Mountains. It's Dolly Parton. It's old Nashville. It's old country music. It's that stuff. It's Mountain Dew, the kind that isn't sweet. It's that. Alabama is like, and Mississippi is like slavery, civil rights abuses. Like they're like the Mississippi might be the North Korea of the South, and Alabama's. I think very little of Alabama, if I'm being honest.
How much of that has to do with fucking Nick Saban?
Not that much. I spent a little time there. In prison. I ain't like that. And every time I've driven through there, I just didn't think very much of their.
I have no bias. I spent a little time there.
I developed a low opinion of them while I was in the clinch.
I also don't think of Louisiana. I feel like a lot of Louisiana is kind of its own thing, like Southern culture, but like
to me, Louisiana and Mississippi are just kissing cousins.
Oh, I think of them very differently. Louisiana, I think of the music, the culture, the Cajun thing, the
French food influence.
The French influence.
One little piece of it.
The French slave culture, like Creole thing, like, and I think of the swamp. I think of Creole stuff. I think of Mardi Gras. But again, Mississippi, I just think of like lynching black people and being awful and being ignorant and probably having like the lowest scores that are kept in general. Just I bet your scores in math are lower than everybody else's. I bet reading's lower.
I bet Georgia's IQ head to head with Alabama. Do we even do those?
Oh studies? My God! Do we even bother looking at that one? Like I think we're gonna. I think we'll take that one home.
Let's do SAT scores by state or whatever measure Zach can find.
Any measure that man can make. I promise you, Mississippi is coming up wanting. Okay, like unless we're measuring poverty.
Right. But our three states are going to be more competitive. I don't know who's going to have the smartest.
Throw us the IQ map of the entire U.S. and so let's see, Mr. Or SAT, that works too.
Let's see how this goes. Ooh. Oh.
Pretty close with Mississippi.
I'm looking down at the two of you, saying.
I mean, it's
looking
so
down
close.
at most of the country, really.
Ooh,
so close.
West Virginia not looking great. West Virginia, Alabama in the triple digits. Not ideal.
IQ. Look at that.
Owned.
This one's less accurate than the previous.
Look at that.
No, I think actually this one is actually the most accurate. It's the SAT one that's sort of like. Yeah. Is North Dakota winning?
I just don't think Mississippi wins at anything.
Montana.
Of fucking course, Massachusetts pulls away with yet another one of these things by 0.1 over New Hampshire. They always win these smart offs in the country.
Look at Alaska over there. Good for them. Those Hawaiians coming in with a 95. Wonder what did that. Probably the indigenous culture.
Who's to say? They're spending too much time surfing.
To me, Hawaii is like the wealth gap state. Right? It's the very rich and the very poor trying to live together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they were more immune to whatever diseases we spread to the American Indians.
Yeah, those Polynesians are hardy. I don't know.
They got there somehow. They could have hopped back on their boats.
They're from there.
Well, how'd they get there eventually?
Well, they canoed from some other island from Indonesia or some shit.
Indonesia. Yeah, I guess they're definitely more Asian than we are.
Oh yeah. Well, we're white, so not Asian at all.
But I mean, if they were to go to like the Philippines, they wouldn't seem as Asian as them, right? I can hear you, little Murphy.
I don't really think of the Hawaiians as necessarily Asian. They look like
Polynesian's kind of its own thing. Because you think of the Asians as like lithe, small, shorter, good shape, live a long time.
I don't know if
not so much.
I don't know if the Polynesians were fat and like disgraceful looking like that before we introduced things like Spam to their culture. My perception is that because they are on those islands that are just true food deserts, that they had to survive on probably things like Spam for a long time. I know that we did that to the Native Americans in some way. The food that the government would give the Indians that we put on the reservations was like really shitty food. And so that contributed to why they have so many health issues now. Because they eat this fried bread with government cheese or some shit. Like
that can't be good for you.
Fried bread?
With government cheese.
That's great for you.
Just no nutrients at all.
Yeah, it's literally donuts and cheese. That they're living on, and I think this Polynesians probably did a similar thing because they all look disgusting now, except for Tulsi Gabbard. She's pretty hot, but most of them have that fat, pineapple fed, like big old melon head, like that Moana looking thing. Like what's the Rock's character from Moana? What's his name?
I don't know. I haven't seen Moana.
Maui, very creative.
Wow, someone should be fired for that. Maui.
Yeah, a little racist.
Well, I mean, The Rock escaped it. He's Samoan.
He's half something else though. I think his dad.
Is he black?
His dad looks black. His dad was a wrestler too, but he fought as I think Rocky, or something like that. But his mom's black and his dad's Samoan, I guess, or something like that. Well, his dad didn't look Samoan; he looked black too. But in any case, I look forward to The Rock finally not being able to be big anymore and his career failing.
Why?
Why do we hate?
I don't know.
Everyone hates The Rock now.
I hate the. I just never liked The Rock. I just like, what does The Rock stand for? You know what I mean?
Other than being like not a great actor, why do you dislike him?
Well, I just don't think he has any like redeeming qualities. Really, he's just he seems so fake and milquetoast with his big fake smile and his steroids, and I just don't think much of him and at all. All of his movies are the fucking same.